Our world is a mysterious place full of unfathomable things, creatures, and phenomena that keep the thinking minds on edge all the time. Science has managed to figure out the story behind most of the puzzling stuff, but there's still a lot that just cannot be explained. Many weird and downright creepy incidents have been captured on camera in recent years that neither science nor logic can justify. Here are 20 mind-boggling glitches in the Matrix caught on camera. Number 1. Twins or not. The two men you see in the footage may look exactly the same, almost as if they're identical twins, but believe it or not, these two have no previous connection. Both of them are minor league baseball players who play for two different teams. The color of their eyes is different, but besides that, they look exactly alike. And that's not just it. They're both named Brady Feigl. The two men tried to convince the world that they were not related and their uncanny resemblance and common name was just a huge coincidence, but no one would believe the story. So they decided to put it to rest once and for all by getting a DNA test. And finally, they were able to prove to everyone that they were not related. They just had ginger beards and similar taste in spectacles. But no one can explain why they both have the same name that's even spelled the same way. Both the Bradys are 6 foot 4 inches tall. Both are pitchers for Texas Rangers and Oakland Athletics, respectively. And strangely, both of them underwent Tommy John surgery, and the same doctor performed both their surgeries. And yet, according to science, there is no relationship between them, though their DNA test did reveal that both Feigls shared the same amount of German ancestry. Number 2. Disappearing man. Seems like there are a lot of ghosts wandering around in the cities at night, completely oblivious of the fact that surveillance cameras are watching them. This particular ghost was captured in a driveway in Kentucky. Turns out ghosts also like hanging out in parking lots and driveways. At first it seems like a random man is just out for a stroll enjoying the night breeze in the driveway in Kentucky, and the CCTV camera just recorded him. But just watch what happens next. The supposedly normal footage takes a frightening turn when the man suddenly disappears into thin air like it's nothing out of the ordinary. It's quite unsettling, but many people online question the authenticity of the footage. They argue that no one really has the time to review all of their CCTV footage, so how come the owners of this driveway discovered the man who could be a ghost? Maybe they're the nosy neighbors who like to keep an eye on everyone. Some netizens also think that the disappearing ghost isn't as scary as the thought of our rapidly disappearing privacy thanks to all these cameras on every street and house. Number 3. Breathing forest. This mind-blowing footage of the Earth heaving like it's inhaling and exhaling like a living being has gone viral online. Some might think it's a result of special effects, but it's not. It's also not magic or a Halloween prank. According to Mark Sorosis of the Southern Quebec Severe Weather Network, this is an understandable meteorological phenomenon in which multiple natural elements work together to create this unusual scene. The trees in the background are seen moving because of the incredibly strong winds. The forest floor is covered with moss, which leaves a whole lot of the root system of younger trees lodged in a relatively loose medium. And as the wind sways the trees, the roots lift the floor. This is what gives the appearance of breathing. Other meteorological experts have corroborated Sorosis's explanation, so it's clear that the forest trees definitely breathe in and release oxygen and carbon dioxide as byproducts, but the forest floor is not a respiratory organism, though from the video clip it does look like it's breathing in and out as if a giant is asleep under these rocks. Number 4. Invisible bicycle. These pictures surely look like a magic trick is being performed by a cheeky artist, but these images are the creation of an artist who wanted to con the human mind and eye by depicting people floating around the city streets. They seem to be riding bicycles except for the fact that these bikes are invisible. People were confused by this illusion. They wanted to know if people were mime artists or were they actually riding invisible bikes. Zhao Huasen is the Chinese artist behind this project called Floating. It includes a series of photographs in which he captured cyclists riding on the city streets and then used his editing skills to remove the bicycles from the pictures, making it seem like the people were riding invisible two-wheelers. The pictures sure did manage to make all the smart people scratch their heads in confusion for a bit, but that's what the artist wanted. He was trying to challenge our ability to see because we expect to see something else and our brains fill in the gaps. This means even though we can't see the bicycles, our minds are still able to conclude from the images that the people in them are riding bikes, though they are invisible. Number 5. Woman in a Tree. In recent years, many different movies have featured strange women spotted in various places, like The Woman in the Window, The Girl on the Train, and more. Another potential movie title could be The Woman in the Tree, featuring this bizarre lady who was spotted moving amongst the leaves on top of a tree. The locals say that she isn't just any ordinary woman or some sort of mentally ill person. They believe she is a ghost, and there have been rumors about this ghost wandering the jungles in the surrounding area. Soon enough, people started making up supernatural stories about her, and once these stories became the talk of the town, people began seeing her standing on top of a tree. How she manages to maintain her balance is still a mystery. When the local police were informed about this strange sari-clad ghost in a tree, they just dismissed it, saying it was nothing but an optical illusion. But soon enough, they realized it wasn't the human mind playing tricks, and the cops started seeing her too. They had been investigating a missing girl who they suspected could be the woman on the tree, but there's no way of knowing who she actually is. Was it really a ghost, or just a lady intent on doing something insane? Number 6. Chair Ghost. Some of the most intriguing ghost stories have emerged from the UK, including the Black-Eyed Ghost and the Loch Ness Monster. However, most of these legends are just tales without any visual or audio proof. But nowadays, thanks to CCTV cameras, we can witness the strange and paranormal occurrences around us. This CCTV footage from the Lansdowne pub located in Cardiff, Wales, depicts a woman's casual encounter with what seems to be a very well-mannered ghost. The pub is quite famous for a regular ghost called Lady Lansdowne. The footage shows the pub's manager enjoying her break. She was just sitting at a table browsing through her phone when the chair opposite her suddenly moved inwards, catching her off guard. She was skeptical at first and thought she was imagining things, but when she saw the CCTV footage, she realized that it was definitely not her imagination and something ghostly was present with her during the break that moved the chair. The manager, however, didn't make a big deal of the incident, as the pub is known for being haunted. Also, the ghost doesn't seem violent or evil, so why not just coexist with it peacefully? Number 7. Bird frozen in air. Back in 2020, a bird was filmed in a strange situation. It looked as if it was frozen mid-flight in the eerie footage. This sparked a wave of incredulous theories online. This footage is from a quiet neighborhood called Tulwa Valley in Colombia and was filmed by local onlookers. The white pigeon apparently remained in a flying position but looked completely motionless, as if it was stuck mid-air, or maybe someone had hit the pause button. Some viewers thought it could be a glitch in the Matrix, but others believe that the bird probably got trapped by thin wires. In the footage, the pigeon can be seen with its wings spread apart in the sky above a 2-floored house, but it doesn't move at all. The pedestrians and bikers were quite surprised by the spectacle and stopped to look up and record the unusual incident. A closer look at the bird, however, reveals that it's not entirely frozen, as it can be seen twitching in subtle motions. Number 8. Magical Helicopter. Turns out it's not just the birds that mysteriously freeze mid-air. Helicopters sometimes behave that exact same way. This helicopter is ascending in the air, but unlike normal helicopter wings that keep rotating, the blades of this chopper look like they've stopped moving. But strangely, the helicopter remains in the air and does not crash to the ground, which is something a helicopter would normally do if its blades stopped moving. Now, this might be an exciting sight, but it's definitely not magic. Some netizens have explained that this is just an optical illusion that can be attributed to the way a camera works. It happens when the frame rate of the video gets synchronized with the rotating blades, and that can lead to spinning or rotating objects to appear still in the camera footage. It's also called the strobe effect, and it occurs because the film is not an image of fluid motion. It is in fact a sequence of still photographs shown one after the other. And if the fan blades happen to be in the same apparent position in each frame, it will appear as if the blades are not turning. Number 9. Invisible car crash. Who knew that sometimes cars can crash into nothing? Physicists have time and again emphasized that moving vehicles don't ever crash into invisible things, but wait till they see this video. This clip is proof that sometimes a car can end up crashing into something that isn't there, or at least not visible to the naked eye. What used to only happen in video games could actually happen for real nowadays. In this clip, you can see how the car crashes into what seems like an invisible force. No one can say for sure what it actually collided into. Most paranormal enthusiasts think it's some sort of a ghost car that collides into the normal one. Many internet users also pointed out that it could be one of the very realistic video game clips, but the only logical explanation is that something is crashing in this car, as the extent of the damage is too significant to be caused by nothing. But so far, it's impossible to know what is causing this much damage to the incoming car without being seen. Who knows, maybe it is a glitch in the Matrix, and in some other dimension there is a wall these cars might be running into. Number 10. Guardian Angel saves child. A photographer was left awestruck when her nonverbal son with Down syndrome accidentally captured a beautiful photo of what she thinks is his guardian angel. The 7-year-old Asher Lyles has been named by his parents with an extra A to reflect his extra chromosome. He took the photo using his mother Kerry's phone on a flight home to Houston, Texas. When Kerry took her phone and scrolled through the pictures in her gallery, she was stunned by what she found. Kerry said that she'd been aware that a little boy has a sixth sense about the needs of others, even when it's just a hug or a smile. He tends to gravitate to strangers in need. Her suspicions were solidified by the image captured by Asher in her phone, and she believes the strange being in the picture is her son's guardian angel. He had taken dozens of photos, and she was deleting the images as her storage was getting low when she saw this picture showing a white glowy person in the sky. The 7-year-old boy cannot talk, communicates using his photography. Number 11. Sleepy triplets. This one was shocking for all the people who boarded a bus and saw 3 men who looked exactly alike. They were all sitting in a straight line and all 3 of them were asleep in their seats. One might assume that they're probably brothers or cousins, but as it turns out, they're complete strangers. They just coincidentally got on the same bus, took a seat behind each other, and all 3 of them decided to take a small nap before they reached their destination. The internet was definitely shocked by this, and people had a hard time believing that these men were not connected at all. Maybe it was a glitch in the Matrix. Could it be that the same person from different realities had ended up on the bus, or was it just a strange stroke of luck? Number 12. Stray dogs attack car. Not long ago, stray dogs attacking and destroying a local man's car in Sakarya, Turkey, were caught on CCTV footage. It seemed as if the dogs were doing it to get revenge for something. After watching the terrifying footage of the stray animals tearing the car apart, many experts speculated that the purpose behind the attack might have been punishment. A dog is observed leading the pack, and the others just obey their leader. They attack the car in a fit of rage. Mustafa Yildiz, the chair of the Chamber of Veterinary in Sakarya, thinks a similar car might have crashed into one of their friends. They might have acted with a motivation of revenge. He explained that even dogs can suffer from psychological trauma and issues like people do. Most people, however, are unaware of this and find this sort of behavior abnormal. He also speculated that there may have been a much simpler reason. The dogs might have smelled meat and destroyed the car belonging to Semakar just to get to it. The car himself thinks the car was just collateral damage, and the dogs were probably trying to get hold of a cat that was hiding under the car. But strangely, there's no cat visible in the surveillance footage. Number 13. Moving car walk. We all think about all the stunts performed in action films and whether we can do these in real life or not. While most of these are incredibly dangerous and downright impossible to imitate, there are some people out there who just casually live their lives like they're immune to harm. For instance, take a look at this woman in the video doing the impossible. Her name is Jasmine Lacey, and she was driving away in a stolen Hyundai Sonata down a hill when out of the blue, she stopped and can be seen walking out of the car as it continues rolling down the street. She got out and continued walking, completely oblivious of the fact that the car was moving without a driver into the oncoming traffic. The car finally came to a halt when it hit a tree. So Jasmine definitely wasn't a very competent car thief, or else she would have gotten away. But from the looks of it, she could become a very successful stunt artist in movies. Surprisingly, she wasn't charged for this incident. She actually got away with stealing a car and jeopardizing the safety of several people. The grounds for her acquittal was insufficient evidence. Maybe the court never got hold of this footage, or maybe it did, but since no one can see the woman's face as she walks out of the moving car, they had no way of determining if it was her. Number 14. Car vanished. Videos of fast-moving cars can make anyone feel dizzy, but sometimes the speed and camera work together to produce an optical illusion that has no logical explanation. That's probably why there are a lot of strange videos showing cars vanishing into thin air. For instance, take a look at this mysterious silver-grey car that is clearly seen speeding along the road until it suddenly disappears. No one knows where it went or how. Another similar video went viral on the internet when an array of bikes and cars were filmed disappearing into thin air over a bridge. This clip was shared by a British man named Daniel Dutch, who wrote, "Yes, the traffic just disappears." The post caused a frenzy on Twitter, where people began comparing the bridge to the Bermuda Triangle. All the cars and bikes can be seen driving on the road at an unknown location, and before they turn left, they disappear into what looks like a bridge over the water. Most people, however, argue that this too was just an optical illusion, and the footage was actually filmed from above at an angle. This made it look like a river and bridge, but in reality, it was a dirty roof with a raised ledge overlooking the road. Number 15. Ghost Boy or Alien. This strange clip from a surveillance camera shows a house amidst renovations. In the footage, it's quite clear that the room is empty except for 2 stepladders present in the center of the room. The walls are bare and there's hardly any light in there. The open doorway to the left seems to lead outside, but just a few seconds in the video, something creepy happens. Either a person or a paranormal being decided to come inside and can be seen walking into the room. From the footage, the silhouette seems like it's a little boy who may have wandered in out of curiosity, but many viewers thought it was some other creature. It was nearly as tall as the stepladders, with a bulbous head, large black eyes, and thin long limbs. The creature doesn't seem to be wearing any clothes, but the scariest part is when the creature speeds across the room and vanishes. It looks a lot like the aliens depicted in popular media, and that's probably why netizens think it could be an extraterrestrial being. The more conservative viewers think it could be a child spirit or maybe a demon. The creature teleported from one stepladder to the other and disappeared into thin air, leaving behind no physical trace except for this footage that clearly would frighten even the smartest and bravest amongst us. Number 16. Snake Jump Rope. These children in the video have to be the bravest kids we've ever come across. They didn't need a skipping rope to play jump rope, instead they decided to use the next best thing, a huge snake. The unbelievable scene depicting the kids using the snake as a jump rope was filmed in Vietnam. The 3 kids are not at all scared of the vicious beast as they giggle and sing along while playing with the reptile. A woman behind the camera can be heard encouraging the little ones to keep playing. The snake wasn't alive. The video obviously went viral on the internet and garnered a mixed response. Some thought it was cruel to play with the body of a deceased animal, while others were left awestruck by the brave children. Vietnam is very famous for its rich biodiversity and is home to a huge variety and population of snakes, many of which are venomous. Number 17. Bouncing Manhole Cover. This strange drain cover was caught dancing on camera in Denver, Colorado. The footage is pretty bizarre and no one knows why the cover is bouncing up and down over the hole without any trigger. When the video clip hit the internet, many people pitched different theories as to why this manhole cover was moving in this strange manner. Some decided to blame it on demonic possession, while the young sci-fi enthusiasts thought it could be the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles inhabiting the sewers, suffering from gas. A few even thought it could be Pennywise, the evil clown from It. But according to the local authorities, the manhole cover was just moving because of an air bubble. They claim that an air bubble was capable of causing the cover to react in this goofy manner. Well, that does make sense, but what if it's something else? Number 18. Floating Leaf. Weird stuff floating mid-air has been the most common manifestation of a glitch in the Matrix in recent years. Whether it's birds, helicopters, or jetliners, all sorts of airbound creatures and objects have been witnessed frozen mid-air. But now the plants are also experiencing this glitch as depicted by this video clip. A group of friends was taking a walk through the woods when they came across this strange leaf that was floating perfectly in mid-air. It didn't fall down like leaves normally do, instead it remained suspended in the air. Initially, the friends thought they had discovered something magical in the woods, but when they took a closer look, their excitement died down. As it turns out, there was something supporting it. The leaf had gotten caught in a spider's web as it fell from the tree and was actually dangling on an almost invisible thread. If only they hadn't studied it up close, they would still believe that it was a magical floating leaf. It's not like magicians haven't performed tricks showing various much heavier objects levitating mid-air. Number 19. Mike Tyson Video. Boxing fans don't ever take their eyes off the legendary player Mike Tyson during a match. That is until they spot a time traveler sitting in a pricey ringside seat. A few years ago, a video clip from the 1995 fight between Mike Tyson and Peter McNeely went viral when people noticed something unbelievable in the background. There was a person who was being deemed a time traveler in one of the ringside seats, and that person was recording the fight with a smartphone. This may not seem alarming today, but back then, smartphones didn't exist, and the phones we did have were incapable of shooting videos. The footage has been analyzed by experts who have declared it real and undoctored. Tyson can be seen limbering up on the canvas for one of the most lucrative fights in boxing history that grossed a whopping $132 million worldwide. The crowd was going wild as they were about to see Tyson fight for the first time after being released from a 3-year stint behind bars. But years later, someone rewatching the fight noticed that a man standing in the background, about 3 rows back, was holding up a white device bearing uncanny resemblance to a modern smartphone and recording Tyson. Experts, however, think this wasn't a smartphone. Instead, it was one of the other handheld recording devices that were commonly available during the 90s. Number 20. Daniel Radcliffe lookalikes. Who doesn't know Daniel Radcliffe, the child prodigy who brought to life everyone's favorite fictional character, Harry Potter? As it turns out, the phenomenal actor has some sort of doppelganger situation going on. When he appeared on The Graham Norton Show, the host showed him some of his finest lookalikes from right across history. Turns out a lot of them were women who bear an uncanny resemblance to the star. There was a portrait of a middle-aged woman whose features are quite similar to Daniel's, and she was wearing those round statement glasses. There were 2 more, one with a nun that looked a lot like Daniel, and another lady with a scarf around her head. Daniel also enjoyed seeing all his doppelgangers and joked that these were all his past lives and that he was a slightly depressed lady in a lot of them. When Daniel appeared on the Jimmy Fallon Show, he was again presented with pictures of old women who looked like him, to which he responded by saying that he didn't know why he looked so much like a stern lady. Is it really just a coincidence that at every point in history there lived a woman who looked exactly like the Harry Potter star? Maybe someone will find another one of Daniel's doppelgangers amongst the Egyptian mummies.